and the stories from the Bible like Moses, Noah, and Abraham. And I remember that I used to love watching these movies. I also remember that one of my biggest dreams was to visit Jerusalem. So fellow opinions and most welcome guests, this is the story of a trip I did to Jerusalem. One of the most exciting trips I ever done. Last year, I went on a holiday to Egypt, and a day trip to Jerusalem by coach was part of the tour. I was staying in Sharm el-Sheikh with a few Colombian friends, and from Sharm el-Sheikh to Jerusalem is about 7 hours trip by coach. So the coach picked up us at 1 o'clock in the morning at the hotel. But the coach wasn't like the National Express coaches, where you can recline your seat and you have this little thing to put your feet, so you are very comfortable. No. In this one the seats, they are reclining. You didn't have the thing for the feet. And the seat in front of me was literally like a few centimeters from my face. So as you can imagine, I wasn't able to sleep much. The bus was full of Russians and the few Colombians in my tour. After a 3 hours journey, we arrived at Taba, which is the border between Egypt and Israel. And because these two countries are not very good friends, there is a lot of tension in the atmosphere. And of course, the Egyptian coaches are not allowed to cross the border. So we have to get off the bus, stretch a little bit, but this time it was 4 a.m. and it was raining a lot. So first, we have to go through the Egyptian immigration control. There was a long queue, so we have to wait and wait and wait. When it was my turn, I gave my passport to the officer. He looked at my passport. He looked at me, not a very friendly face. He looked at my passport again, stamped it, and gave it back to me. He didn't say a single word. From there to the Israel passport control, there were about 200 meters. And because it was raining, we had to run. When we get there, guess what? More queues. We have to wait more because this one wasn't moving. Then, when it was my turn again, a nice lady asked me a few questions. She stamped my passport and she said, "Welcome to Israel." There, another coach was waiting for us. The whole process was more than 2 hours. So I was so exhausted that I managed to sleep on the coach from Taba to Jerusalem. When we wake up, we were in Jerusalem. We get off the bus, stretch again. We were tired, hungry, and of course, after 7 hours on a coach, that's really nice. We didn't care because we finally reached our destination. Jerusalem is one of the oldest cities in the world and is considered holy for the 3 main religions. I'm not a very religious person, but being there in the same place that Jesus was more than 2,000 years ago was magical. Walk on the same roads he did, touch the same walls he touched, made me have goosebumps. We start the tour at the old city. We walk through the Via Dolorosa, or the Stations of the Cross, and we end at the Holy Sepulchre. From there, we went to the Western Wall, which is 50 meters long and 60 feet high. And this is a place where the Jewish pray. The wall is divided in two. There is one side for men and a small side for women. You're also supposed to ride a little wish on a little piece of paper, and you can put it on the cracks on the wall. When we went out of the old city, we had an amazing view of the Mount of Olives. It was, believe me, it was like a postcard. The tour guide, she told us that a place in the cemetery at the Mount of Olives can cost more than $1 million. And that's because many of Jewish want to get buried there. Because according to the Jewish tradition, when the Messiah comes, the resurrection of dead will begin there. We end the trip at the Dead Sea. And this is the lowest point on Earth. It's very hot and humid right now because I'm so hot. Yes, it's also one of the saltiest bodies of water with more than 34% of salinity. The water is very dense, so it makes swimming like floating. And sadly, that was the end of the trip. It was a very hard and challenging trip, but for me, it worth it. I had this dream of going to visit Jerusalem, the magnificent land of Jerusalem, for years and years and years. So I was overwhelmed when it finally happened. So yes, I can say that good things comes for those who wait. Thank you.